All right, Spnnng Slvr, chapters 20 to 23 of this 2018 fantasy novel set in a medieval, um, kind of Eastern European Russian setting, where there are sort of two great monstrous fantasy figures, this Staric king and this demon that has possessed the has possessed the Tsar, which makes me think it probably is Russian, and how the demon wants to feed off of the the uh, the Staric king, and then feed off his people. And this is all the stuff. Will feed it for a while until it finally turns back on them. And Marion, who is trapped by the Staric king, is like, well, she teams up with Irina, who is married to the possessed Tsar, and they managed to capture the Staric king, and have now entombed it. And it has broken the winter that was going to basically starve everyone to death in an eternal winter. Except it is also gonna feast off of all the people in the Stark Kingdom, of which she's gotten to know like three that she's actually who are her bondsmen, and that she actually kind of cares for as people, and she's even named one of their kids. This is Marion. So she breaks out the Staric king, kind of getting some sort of promises from him about what he will do. And at the same time, Ileana is like very much like, this is not going to last. Like, the demon will go through all the Staric people, and then it will come for us. So when they do dump it, it gets across into the Stark Kingdom. That's the kind of the price that it pays, because they've broken out the Stark King. It's like, okay, well, we'll get you into the kingdom where it is now feasting. And the Stark King, who has been kind of mortally wounded in the escape attempt, stabbed by a kind of a heroic soldier guy who doesn't make it out alive, who thought he was doing the right thing. But they are able to save him because Wanda and her little brother, they have this acorn from the tree where their mother and the 5 children who didn't survive had all been buried. And so it's their thing, and they're able to give it to the Stark King and revivify him. And they're able to actually, they don't give it to him. They give it across through the water to Marion, who then is able to plant it and get the tree, and so they're able to call through and get through into the kingdom and engage this monster in some sort of final battle. And so they're continuing to weave all these things together, and they're also continuing to have just this difficulty of, there's always a price to be paid. There's all this stuff. And I'm really struck by the whole thing of Marion going like, am I going to go back to a village where everyone hates me, where I am always the outsider? And it's one of these striking things of this fantasy world, because we have this idyllic fantasy world, which in our popular imagination is very homogenous. There aren't any Jews, there aren't any heathens in it, or if there are, they're othered. They're the orcs, the ogres. It's not like, just people who are of different religion that are subjected to our hate and vitriol in all our greatest fears. So Neiman Novik is doing a really good job of incorporating, hey, here are Jewish people in this fantasy world, and look how all the people that we would have considered kind of the heroes or parts of that world, look how they treat our Jewish protagonists in this story, and how kind of heroic and just fucking kick-ass these Jewish characters are, and how they're able to kind of, using their smarts and wiles, make it through, and whether that's dealing with shitty villagers or with the Stark Lord, or dealing with this monster. And it's also women dealing with this as well. This is primarily books where the protagonists are female characters who are navigating through what's obviously a very recognizable patriarchal system, which doesn't really recognize women. Even Miriam in the Jewish community, it's like they're not expecting her to be a good moneylender or to be able to make decisions. There's a very much a female realm, so they don't. Name Novik does actually is not blind to the limitations of maybe traditional Jewish viewpoints on women, the female characters in their stories. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. I don't think we're that much too much farther to the too very far from the end of Spnnng Slvr, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and looking forward to seeing how these heroes navigate and what kind of end they have and what kind of costs they have to pay for whatever end they're able to negotiate. Yeah, good stuff. All right, more videos later.